Welcome back to Score Connect. We are talking with Dr. Jeff Cohu from Lipscomb University. One of the things that I'm excited to learn more about is how Lipscomb connects with other organizations and resources in the community. Because one of the important things that we want to exemplify here is that entrepreneurs are not as alone as they might always feel. It always feels kind of quiet and lonely at the top when you're running your own business. And there are so many groups and organizations in Nashville that provide that support and the resources. So what partnerships, organizazations, and groups is Lipscomb working with in the Nashville community?
So one of the, I've been in Nashville now 4 years, and one of the really, I think, great things about Nashville and Tennessee in general is that we do have a really strong ecosystem.
Yeah.
Obviously, since this is Score TV, I'll start with Score. I've been involved with Score.
I've been
involved with Score since the late 90s up in Michigan and other places, and so it's a great resource. Obviously, matching people with mentors, and particularly vertically integrated specialists in whatever area you're at. So SCORE is a great organization. We have a great chapter here in Nashville, Middle Tennessee. EO organization is another great organization, and again, I think for a lot of small business owners, it's a good way to kind of talk through common problems and experience, are you experiencing this, those kind of questions, and I think it kind of does reduce that isolation a lot.
It's very peer-to-peer with the entrepreneur organization.
It's a very peer-to-peer organization, but they also do a lot of good stuff, like again, for our students, and so it's a good resource there. Launch Tennessee is a really good organization. They do a lot of good work across the state. Obviously, their primary representative here in Nashville is the Nashville Entrepreneurship Center, which is a tremendous resource. Again, great facilities, great people.
So many programs, too. They have a program for every possible level that you could be at in your business.
So yes, at every stage. If you're pre-flight, if you're, so they really.
I did Catalyst.
Yes, Catalyst, all of those. So they're a great organization, and we partner with them as much as possible. We try to be a feeder to them a lot of times. And Launch Tennessee has 6 others across the state, but they're obviously here in Nashville. It's the Nashville Entrepreneurship Center. We're starting to do some work with veterans because we have students coming back to Lipscomb who are veterans, and so Bunker Labs is a great resource for veterans. We have a current MBA student or just graduated recently who is a co-founder of a startup here in Nashville called Gear to Go. I would plug that as well. It's a way to rent equipment that you may not need to buy, for once or twice.
Equipment for
camping and kayaking, and a way to rent out. If you got, like me, if you got 10 kayaks in your garage, I could rent them out or whatever. So it's a really cool.
10 kayaks?
Too many.
Do you have a big kayak party one day?
I like water stuff, but but you end up with a lot of stuff a lot of times that you don't utilize, and so the idea was to kind of be an Uber for equipment and stuff, and so it's a shared economy app model that's doing really well here in Nashville. I sit on the board of AYA, which is the Entrepreneur Latino Leaders of America. There's a whole cohort of mostly women, Latino women who are getting counseled and coached. Pathways Women's Entrepreneurship
Score
Center,
does a ton of work with Pathways.
Score partners with, and again, a great resource, tremendous resource. At the micro level, you've got some faith-based organizations like Corner to Corner that do a lot of good work. So we really, I think, we have more opportunities, than most entrepreneurs actually know. I think there's probably a need for higher awareness of the resources that we have here in Nashville, and certainly. I think we're getting better on attracting financing, and I think as we get back to having 3686 and some of the things that really put the spotlight on Nashville, I think it's going to help in a lot of ways.
Yeah, well, and I like that you mentioned not only the larger organizations, but also some smaller ones, like you said, micro. There are so many resources in Nashville for everyone. So not only, different diversity and inclusion groups, but also where you are in the growth of your business, if you're just getting started, if you've reached the $1 million plus mark.
Right.
And it sounds like Lipscomb is being very intentional about connecting with those organizations.
We try to help as we can. I was sitting there thinking, I forget somebody. The Small Business Development Center at Tennessee State is a great resource as well, particularly for traditional small businesses, and so I would definitely plug them as well. So there's, and the other universities as well. The universities, I think, play a good role in partnering through Launch Tennessee and other stuff. So we have a lot of resources in Nashville for entrepreneurs. I think the key is just figuring out where to go and find the right resources.
Yeah, and what feels right to you? Because again, some of those organizations are going to be peer-to-peer, and that might give you a nice sort of cohort or group of other business owners to connect with, or some of them might be direct teaching or not, like degree models, but like online courses or ongoing workshops and training, that kind of thing that give you specific advice and instructions.
Absolutely. And so SCORE is great, obviously, at providing good workshops.
We got connections to everybody,
yes. And so we try to partner, and we hope to be hosting a lot of those events at Lipscomb in the future. And I will also plug at Lipscomb, we're getting ready in August to open we're going to have an entrepreneurship house for our students. Kind of a
like a live-in house?
Not a live-in house. I've told people I will throw you out if you're there more than 24 hours, but basically a shared workspace and with some maker space capabilities and other stuff, but a real place that our students could basically say, this is our place to work and run our businesses out of, and so it's going to be a good next step for us.
That makes total sense. So one of the events that I did want to mention is the symposium coming up. It is our Powerhouse Panels and Pitches event. Lipscomb will be hosting it in their Swang Business Center. Thank you for having us and the 200 plus people that we plan to attend this event. But we're excited to be able to showcase several of the organizations that you mentioned here today, including others, including some that are specific to women-owner, organizations and those sort of resources. So we're going to have several different panels throughout the day and a pitch competition where over 40 businesses will be able to register and pitch to get funding up to $3,000, and we will have some amazing judges and just people in the room that are representing all of these organizations and resources in Nashville. So thank you for hosting us for that.
Absolutely. We're excited to have the event, and we're looking forward to it. And I work with a lot of pitch competitions around the globe, and it's a real opportunity, I think, to force you to kind of condense and think through make your business model simple, clear and concise.
You want to talk about concise is 90 seconds.
So yes, it's a 90-second elevator pitch in the first round, and that is, to me, is always the hardest pitch to do. But it's also, I think, the most important, because if you can get down to that, you probably have a good handle on what your value prop of your business is, and you really know kind of where you're going, I think, strategically. So I'm looking forward to hearing the pitches.
We are too.
And the exciting event.
It will. Well, we'll be back with more information on that after the break.